All right, so we're diving deep today into something uh, pretty incredible and, visceral. I
Yeah.
think you've shared with us this image, this scene called AAGOSO, which translates to salmon hunting by the waterfall.
Mhm.
Just reading those words, even before seeing anything, you can almost like feel the energy of this scene, right?
Absolutely. You really hit the nail on the head there. It's this incredible clash of natural forces. And I think just the title itself really sets the stage for something quite dramatic.
It does. And then when you look at the details in the source, it really comes to life. We have this large brown bear, and he's positioned on these wet rocks right beside this thundering waterfall. I mean, you
Yeah.
can just picture the white water crashing, the mist hanging in the air.
Right.
That's a really dynamic setting.
And then you have the salmon, not just one, but several of them all leaping with all their might against this really powerful current. It really speaks to their incredible drive to return upstream. You know what strikes you most about that struggle when you think about the salmon?
For me, it's just the sheer determination. I mean, you can imagine the energy they're expending with each jump, just pushing themselves to the limit.
Right.
And then you have the bear right in the middle of all this action. He's got his mouth open, his eyes completely fixed on those fish.
Yeah.
There's this intense focus, almost like this primal hunt, distilled into this single frozen moment.
It's funny you should mention that focus gaze because when you consider that what the bear is essentially doing is leveraging the environment, the waterfall actually acts as a natural obstacle for the salmon. It concentrates them into this very specific area. So the bear isn't chasing them miles upstream. It's chosen a strategic point where their vulnerability is heightened.
So the waterfall isn't just this like pretty backdrop. It's actually a key player in the whole drama.
Absolutely.
That constant rush of water must create such a unique environment for this hunt.
Right.
I mean, how might that impact both the bear and the salmon?
Yeah.
What are some of the challenges that come to mind?
Well, for one thing, consider the sound. Imagine that deafening roar of the waterfall. It could definitely make it harder for the bear to hear the subtle movements of the salmon in the water below.
Oh, I see.
And the same goes for the salmon. It's equally difficult for them to detect any approaching danger until it's almost too late.
Oh, wow.
And you mentioned the mist earlier. That mist could definitely affect visibility for both the bear and the salmon. For the salmon, just the sheer physical effort of battling that current, just to get into a position to leap is a huge energy expenditure. I mean, they're essentially exhausting themselves
Right.
just to reach their spawning grounds,
Mhm.
which in turn presents an opportunity for the bear.
It's such a critical window of opportunity, isn't it? That moment when the salmon are airborne trying to clear the falls.
Right.
They're completely exposed.
Hmm.
The bear has to be perfectly poised to capitalize on that chance, that fleeting chance.
Exactly. And think about the evolutionary pressures at play here. The salmon's instinct to return upstream is incredibly strong. It ensures the continuation of the species, but that very instinct leads them into this gauntlet
Right.
where predators like the bear are waiting. It's a delicate balance.
It really makes you wonder about the journey those salmon have already undertaken.
Yeah.
What kind of challenges might they have already overcome just to reach this waterfall? I mean, it's not like they just appeared at the bottom of the falls ready to jump.
Right. That's a crucial point. They've likely navigated long distances, faced other predators, and conserved energy for this final push. Reaching the waterfall is a testament to their resilience.
Oh, wow.
And for the bear, this fishing spot might be one it returns to year after year. Understand the timing of the salmon run. It's a learned behavior passed down perhaps through generations.
So in this single snapshot, we're seeing not just a predator and prey, but this deep interwoven relationship with the environment and these powerful ingrained instincts driving both their actions. It's more than just a hunt. It's this ancient cycle playing out.
Precisely. And if we connect this to broader ecological principles, I think this scene really beautifully illustrates the concept of energy transfer within an ecosystem. The salmon convert energy from their food into this incredible upstream journey,
Right.
making them a concentrated source of energy for the bear at this specific bottleneck created by the waterfall.
It really makes you think about how these natural bottlenecks shape life in these environments. The geography itself dictates so much of the interaction between species.
Absolutely. And what's fascinating is how efficient this method of hunting is for the bear. It doesn't have to expend vast amounts of energy chasing individual fish. It waits at this strategic point, allowing the salmon's own drive to reproduce to bring them within reach.
That open mouth we talked about earlier, it's not just a visual detail, is it?
No, not at all.
It speaks to that anticipation, that readiness to act in a fraction of a second. It's the culmination of all that waiting and that focused observation.
Exactly. It's the physical manifestation of that predatory intent, honed by generations of successful fishing at this very spot, likely.
So reflecting on this scene, you shared the powerful waterfall, the determined salmon battling upstream, and the bear with that unwavering focus. We've really unpacked the dynamic forces at play here.
Yeah.
The strength of instinct and that strategic advantage created by the environment.
And, if we consider all the unseen efforts and the continuous cycles of survival that underpin even this brief, dramatic moment in nature,
Right.
it really makes you wonder what other hidden dramas, what other intricate relationships are unfolding around us all the time, just beyond what we immediately perceive.
It really does. That's a great point to end on, something to think about.
Yeah, I think so.
Thanks for sharing this with us. It's been a fascinating deep dive.
My pleasure.
And to all our listeners out there, keep exploring, keep questioning, and as always, we'll catch you in the next deep dive.
See you then.